Listen, I need you to pay attention because what I'm about to share with you will change everything you thought you knew about that person who's been on your mind. There's someone out there who can't stop thinking about the day they met you, and the truth they're hiding will absolutely shock you. I'm talking about that divine connection. That moment when God orchestrated something so beautiful, so powerful, that it left an imprint on their soul that they can't shake off. You might be wondering who this person is, but deep down, you already know. Your spirit recognizes them even when your mind tries to rationalize it away. This isn't some surface-level attraction or casual interest. This is a recognition that goes beyond the physical realm. God doesn't make mistakes when He brings people into your life, especially those who leave you feeling like you've been struck by lightning. That person you're thinking about right now, they're thinking about you too, and what they're hiding will blow your mind. Before we dive deep into this revelation, if this message is already stirring something inside you, hit that subscribe button right now, because I'm about to give you 8 powerful truths that will not only confirm what your heart already knows, but will also prepare you for what God is about to do in your love life. These aren't just theories or feel-good messages. These are biblical truths backed by real spiritual insight about how God moves in relationships and divine connections. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this person can't get you out of their mind, what they're secretly feeling, and most importantly, what God is preparing both of you for. So grab your journal, open your heart, and let's unlock the mystery of this divine connection that's been consuming both of your thoughts. This is going to be life-changing. Number 1, they're fighting a spiritual battle you can't see. Right now, as you're watching this, that person is in the middle of a spiritual warfare that would shock you if you could see it. They're not just casually thinking about you, they're wrestling with feelings so intense it's keeping them up at night. The enemy knows exactly what God has planned for your connection, and he's doing everything possible to create confusion, fear, and doubt in their mind. They wake up thinking about you, and they go to sleep with your face being the last image in their thoughts. But here's what's really happening spiritually. God is breaking down every wall they've built around their heart, every defense mechanism, every past hurt, every reason they've given themselves to stay guarded is being systematically dismantled by the Holy Spirit. This person might have been hurt before, betrayed or disappointed by love, and they promised themselves they'd never be vulnerable again. But then you walked into their life, and suddenly all those walls started crumbling. They're fighting it because vulnerability is terrifying, especially when the stakes feel this high. They sense this isn't just any ordinary connection. This has the potential to change everything about their future. The enemy whispers lies like you're not good enough. This is too good to be true, or you'll just get hurt again. But the Holy Spirit is speaking louder, confirming that this connection is divinely orchestrated. They're experiencing what I call holy disruption, when God interrupts your carefully planned life with something so beautiful and unexpected that it forces you to trust Him on a deeper level. They might be praying about you more than you realize, asking God for clarity, for peace, for courage to move forward. They're seeking confirmation through Scripture, through worship, through conversations with trusted spiritual advisors. This internal battle is actually a beautiful sign. It means they're taking this connection seriously enough to fight for it spiritually, not treating you as just another option or casual interest. Their spirit recognizes the weight and significance of what God might be doing through your connection. The fact that they're fighting means they're aware something powerful is happening, and they want to make sure they're aligned with God's will before they make any moves. This spiritual battle is preparing them to love you the way God intended, with pure motives, healed wounds, and complete surrender to His plan. Number 2, they replay every conversation and moment you shared. This person has memorized every word you've spoken to them, every laugh you've shared, every moment of eye contact that lasted just a second too long. They replay these moments like a sacred film reel, analyzing every detail, every inflection in your voice, every gesture you made. When they're alone, they catch themselves smiling at memories of your conversations. They remember exactly what you were wearing, how your hair looked, the way the light hit your face during that one perfect moment. This isn't obsession, this is treasure keeping. Their heart has recognized something precious, and it's carefully cataloging every interaction because their spirit knows these moments matter. They find themselves bringing up topics you've discussed in conversations with others, not even realizing they're doing it. Your opinions have become important to them. Your perspectives have started shaping their thoughts. They notice themselves adopting phrases you use, seeing things through lenses you've shared with them. This is what happens when someone's heart begins to align with yours. There's a beautiful synchronization that starts occurring. Naturally, they probably have screenshots of your text messages, not because they're being weird, but because your words brought them comfort or joy, and they want to revisit those feelings. They've read your messages multiple times, analyzing not just what you said, but how you said it, what you might have meant, what emotions were behind your words. Late at night, they lie in bed reconstructing your conversations, imagining what they should have said differently, what they wish they had been brave enough to express. They dream about future conversations with you, scenarios where they finally have the courage to be completely honest about their feelings. This mental replay isn't torturing them, it's nourishing them. Each memory is like a small gift they unwrap repeatedly, finding new details and deeper meaning every time. They're storing up these moments because somewhere deep down, they sense that this connection is building towards something significant. God has given them a heart that recognizes treasure when it sees it, and you are treasure to them. They're not taking any moment with you for granted because their spirit understands that what you're building together is sacred and worth protecting. This careful attention to detail, this treasuring of moments, is actually preparation for the kind of love that honors God, intentional, mindful, and deeply appreciative. Asterisk. Number 3. They see God's hand in how you met. The circumstances of how you two met weren't coincidence, and they know it. Deep in their spirit, they recognize the divine orchestration that brought you into their life at exactly the right moment. Maybe it was a chance encounter that shouldn't have happened according to logic, or a series of coincidences that led to your paths crossing. They've probably told the story of how you met multiple times to friends and family, and each time they tell it, they're more convinced that God was behind it all. They see the beautiful timing, the perfect alignment of circumstances, the way obstacles moved out of the way to make your meeting possible. This person has likely prayed for love, for their future spouse, for God to bring the right person at the right time when you appeared in their life. Their spirit immediately recognized an answer to prayer. They might not have said it out loud yet, but they've had moments of quiet worship where they thanked God for bringing you into their story. They see how God prepared both of you for this moment, the experiences you've both had, the growth you've both undergone, the healing you've both walked through that made you ready for each other. They notice how naturally you fit into their life, how effortlessly you complement their personality, how your presence brings out the best in them. This isn't something they're trying to force or manufacture. It's something they're recognizing and receiving. They've probably had conversations with God about you, asking for wisdom, for confirmation, for green lights to move forward. They see how your values align, how your faith journeys complement each other, how your dreams and visions for the future seem to weave together perfectly. This recognition of God's hand in your meeting gives them a confidence that this connection is meant to be explored, not feared. They understand that when God brings two people together, He has purposes that go beyond their individual happiness. He's building something eternal. They see potential for ministry together, for serving God as a team, for creating a legacy that honors Him. This divine recognition is what separates your connection from all the others they've experienced with you. They don't just see romance. They see partnership in God's kingdom. They don't just see attraction, they see divine assignment. This understanding fills them with hope and excitement about what God might be building through your relationship. Number 4, they're secretly planning a future that includes you in their quiet moments. This person is already imagining what life could look like with you by their side. They're not just daydreaming, they're seeing possibilities that align with God's heart for relationships. They picture morning prayers together, where you both start each day surrendered to God's will and aligned in purpose. They imagine conversations over coffee where you dream together about the ministry, business, or family God might be calling you to build. They see holiday gatherings where you're both welcoming others into the warmth of a Christ-centered home. This future-focused thinking isn't presumptuous, it's prophetic. Their spirit is catching glimpses of what God might have in store, and it's beautiful beyond words. They've probably started making small adjustments to their life that would accommodate a serious relationship. Maybe they're getting their finances in order, creating more space in their schedule, or addressing areas where they need growth. They're not doing this desperately or manipulatively. They're doing it as good stewardship of what God might be preparing. They imagine traveling together, exploring God's creation, serving on mission trips, experiencing adventures as a team. They see quiet evenings, studying scripture together, challenging each other to grow spiritually, holding each other accountable in love. They picture the kind of partnership where you multiply each other's gifts and cover each other's weaknesses. In their mind, they're already protecting your heart, already considering how to love you well, already thinking about how to honor you in every season. They see themselves celebrating your victories, comforting you in difficult times, standing with you through every storm. This isn't fantasy, this is vision, and it's compelling them to become the person worthy of the relationship they're envisioning. They're working on themselves not to earn your love, but to be ready to love you excellently when the time comes. They understand that God-centered relationships require intentional preparation and character development. They see themselves as your protector, your encourager, your partner in advancing God's kingdom on earth. This future-focused thinking is actually maturity. They understand that real love plans ahead, prepares well, and builds with eternity in mind. They've started researching neighborhoods where they might want to live together, imagining the kind of home where Christ would be honored and loved ones would feel welcomed. They picture family traditions they'd create, how they'd handle finances as a team, the way they'd support each other's dreams and callings. They see themselves learning your love language, understanding your deepest needs, becoming fluent in the way you receive and express affection. They imagine growing old together, watching each other's hair turn silver while their love deepens and their faith matures. They picture grandchildren sitting on your laps while you share stories of God's faithfulness throughout your journey together. They see themselves standing beside your hospital bed if you ever get sick, holding your hand through every trial, celebrating every breakthrough. This forward thinking gives them patience for the current season because they understand that good foundations take time to build. They're not rushing because they see your relationship as an investment in eternity, not just temporary happiness. They imagine the legacy you'll leave together, the lives you'll impact, the people you'll serve, the kingdom work you'll accomplish as a unified team. They're already praying for your future children, asking God to prepare their hearts to be good parents who raise children who love Jesus. They picture anniversary dinners where you reminisce about the journey God took you on to find each other. They see retirement years filled with travel, ministry, and the deep satisfaction of a life well lived together. This isn't wishful thinking, this is faith-filled vision that's motivating them to become everything God has called them to be. Number 5. They're experiencing physical and emotional symptoms of deep connection. This person's body is responding to your connection in ways they've never experienced before, and it's both thrilling and overwhelming. When they think about you, their heart rate increases, but not from anxiety, from anticipation and pure joy. They get butterflies in their stomach when your name appears on their phone, and they find themselves grinning uncontrollably at your messages. They experience what I call holy nervousness, the beautiful tension that comes when something deeply significant is developing. Their sleep patterns might have changed since meeting you, not because they're worried, but because their mind is so full of hope and possibility. They wake up earlier, feeling energized and excited about the day, especially if they know they might see or talk to you. They catch themselves humming worship songs more often, spontaneously grateful for the joy you've brought into their life. Their appetite might be different. Sometimes they forget to eat because they're so caught up in the beauty of what's happening. Other times they want to celebrate with special meals. They notice their prayer life has intensified, not just praying about the relationship, but praying with a heart so full of gratitude it overflows into every area. When you're together, they feel a peace and completeness they've never experienced with anyone else. Time moves differently when they're with you. Hours feel like minutes, and they never want the conversation to end. They feel more confident, more attractive, more alive when they're around you, because your presence calls out the best in them. They might experience what feels like electricity when you accidentally touch, or when you make eye contact across a room. This isn't just physical attraction. This is soul recognition manifesting in their body. They feel protective of you in ways that surprise them, wanting to shield you from any harm or disappointment. They experience empathy for you that goes beyond normal. When you're hurting, they feel it in their own chest. When you're celebrating, their joy multiplies because you're Happiness has become connected to theirs. These physical and emotional responses are signs of a connection that goes deeper than the surface. Their entire being is responding to what their spirit recognizes as something sacred and significant. They find themselves more sensitive to beauty since meeting you. Sunsets look more vibrant, music sounds richer, colors appear more vivid. Their senses are heightened because love has awakened their capacity to receive and appreciate God's creation in deeper ways. They notice they're laughing more, smiling more naturally, feeling more generous and kind toward others. Your presence in their life has activated something in their DNA that was designed for love and partnership. They might feel slightly dizzy or lightheaded after spending time with you, not from overwhelm, but from the pure joy of experiencing such a pure connection. Their voice changes when they talk to you, softer, more tender, more authentic than they've ever been with anyone else. They find themselves taking better care of their body, wanting to be healthy and strong for whatever God might be building between you. They sleep more peacefully when they've talked to you before bed, as if your voice carries a supernatural peace that settles their spirit. They wake up with more energy and optimism, ready to face challenges they previously found overwhelming. They notice their creativity is enhanced. They write better, think clearer, solve problems more effectively because love has unlocked new dimensions of their potential. They find themselves praying for healing in areas they've ignored for years, wanting to be whole and healthy for the relationship God might be preparing. They experience moments of spontaneous worship, overwhelmed by gratitude for what God is doing in their heart. Through your connection, their emotional capacity has expanded. They feel deeper joy, more profound peace, greater hope than they thought possible. They notice they're more patient with others, more forgiving, more compassionate, because your love has filled up empty places in their soul. These aren't symptoms of obsession or unhealthy attachment. These are signs of a heart that's coming alive to love the way God designed it. Their body, mind, and spirit are all responding to the recognition that something eternal and sacred is happening between you. Number 6. They're hiding their feelings because they're terrified of ruining what you have right now. This person is carrying the weight of unexpressed love, and it's both beautiful and terrifying for them. They've never felt anything this real, this powerful, this significant, and the thought of losing you by moving too fast or saying the wrong thing paralyzes them. They would rather suffer in silence than risk destroying the beautiful connection you already share. Every time they want to confess their feelings, fear whispers that it's too soon, too much, too risky. They've crafted 1,000 different ways to tell you how they feel, but they delete the messages before sending them. They start conversations intending to be vulnerable, but they pull back at the last moment, settling for safer topics. This isn't cowardice. This is reverence for something precious. They understand that what you have together is rare and sacred, and they don't want to be careless with it. They're waiting for the perfect moment, the right words, the clear confirmation from God that it's time to be completely honest. They study your interactions for signs that you might feel the same way, analyzing every smile, every laugh, every moment of lingering eye contact. They're terrified that their feelings might overwhelm you or pressure you into something you're not ready for. They respect you too much to make assumptions or put you in an uncomfortable position. This hidden love is actually growing stronger because it's being refined by patience and careful. consideration, dare, learning to love you without conditions, without expectations, without demands for reciprocation. They find themselves praying for your happiness, even if it doesn't include them. Though their heart desperately hopes it will, they're discovering what it means to love someone enough to want God's best for them, even if His best might lead in a different direction. This period of hidden feelings is teaching them sacrifice, selflessness, and the kind of love that seeks your good above their own comfort. They're fighting the urge to rush because they sense that what you're building together is worth the wait. This concealed love is actually preparation for the kind of relationship that honors God, patient, kind, not self-seeking. When they finally find the courage to reveal their heart, it will be a gift that's been carefully wrapped in prayer, patience, and pure intentions. They lie awake at night, practicing what they would say if they ever found the courage to be completely honest about their feelings. They imagine every possible response you might give, preparing their heart for acceptance, rejection, or anything in between. They've written letters they'll never send, poured their heart out in journals, composed songs about you that no one will ever hear. This hidden love is creating an internal pressure that's both beautiful and overwhelming, like a spring that's been compressed and is waiting for the right moment to release. They're terrified that if they wait too long, someone else might capture your heart, but they're equally afraid that moving too quickly might push you away. They watch how you interact with others, studying your responses, trying to understand your heart without being obvious about it. They've asked God for signs, for open doors, for confirmation that their feelings are reciprocated and that it's time to speak up. They find themselves creating opportunities to spend time with you while trying not to seem too eager or desperate. They're learning to love unconditionally during this season of hiddenness, discovering that real love gives without expecting anything in return. This secret love is refining their character, teaching them patience, humility, and the beauty of loving someone purely. They're discovering that the anticipation of love can be almost as beautiful as love itself, this suspended moment where anything is possible. They respect you enough to want your heart freely given, not pressured or coerced by premature declarations of love. They understand that trust is built slowly and that rushing could damage the foundation you're building together. This hidden season is actually deepening their capacity to love well when the right time comes to reveal their heart. They're learning to find joy in loving you even without acknowledgement, discovering that the act of loving is a blessing in itself. They believe that when God opens the door for transparency, it will be obvious and natural, not forced or awkward. Until then, they're content to love you quietly, consistently, and with increasing depth and maturity. Number 7, they believe God showed them you before you met. This might sound impossible, but this person had dreams, visions, or strong spiritual impressions about you before you ever appeared in their life. They might have seen your face in a dream, felt your presence in prayer, or received specific details about their future spouse that perfectly match who you are. When you met, it wasn't just attraction, it was recognition. Their spirit immediately identified you as the person they'd been praying for, dreaming about, believing God for. This divine preview gave them confidence that your connection isn't random or coincidental. It's prophetic fulfillment that might have journaled about their future spouse, describing qualities that perfectly match your personality, character, and calling. They possibly drew pictures, wrote letters, or created vision boards that captured the essence of who you are before they ever knew your name. God has a way of preparing our hearts for the people He's going to bring into our lives. And this person received that preparation. They've been walking in faith about love, believing that God had someone specific in mind for them. When you appeared, every prayer, every hope, every vision suddenly made sense. They see the hand of God not just in your meeting, but in the years of preparation that led up to it. They understand that God was working in both of your lives simultaneously, preparing you for each other. This prophetic element adds a layer of destiny to your connection that fills them with awe and reverence. They don't take your presence in their life lightly because they know it's an answer to years of faithful believing. They see your relationship as part of God's bigger plan, not just for your happiness, but for His glory. This divine preview makes them confident that pursuing you isn't presumptuous, it's obedient response to God's revealed will. They believe God gave them this glimpse of the future to sustain them through the process of building something real with you. This prophetic foundation gives them patience during uncertain moments and hope during challenging seasons. They trust that the same God who showed them your heart before they knew your face will guide every step of your journey together. They remember specific prayers where they asked God to reveal their spouse, and suddenly understanding that you are the answer to those prayers. They might have had dreams where they felt overwhelmed with love for someone they couldn't see clearly, only to experience that exact feeling when they met you. Possibly received words from prophetic friends or spiritual mentors that described you perfectly before you came into their life. They recall seasons of preparation where God was teaching them lessons they now realize were specifically designed to help them love you well. They see how their past relationships, both good and bad, were a training ground for the kind of love you deserve. They understand that their previous heartbreaks weren't wasted pain, they were preparation for the empathy and wisdom they'd need to treasure your heart. They recognize that their season of singleness wasn't a punishment, but a preparation time where God was developing their character and deepening their faith. They see how their career path, their location, their interests, and even their struggles all strategically positioned them to meet you at exactly the right time. They remember moments of supernatural peace when God assured them that their person was coming, that they should wait patiently and prepare faithfully. They recall specific scriptures God highlighted about love, marriage, and partnership that they now realize were meant to prepare them for you. They see how their prayer language changed as God began preparing their heart for the specific where you would need to be loved. They remember dreams about their wedding, the day where they couldn't see their bride's face clearly, but they felt her heart, and now they know it was you. They possibly had supernatural encounters where angels or the Holy Spirit spoke to them about their future spouse in ways that perfectly describe you. They understand that this prophetic foundation isn't about bypassing the natural process of getting to know each other. It's about having faith for what God is. Building this divine preview gives them supernatural patience because they know that what God has joined together, no weapon formed against it can prosper. They trust that the same God who gave them glimpses of your love story will provide wisdom for every decision along the way. they see this prophetic confirmation as God's way of giving them courage to pursue you with pure motives and holy intentions. Number 8. They're ready to fight for your love, like Jacob fought for Rachel. This person understands that anything worth having is worth fighting for, and they're prepared to do whatever it takes to win your heart honorably. They're not talking about manipulation or pressure tactics. They're talking about the kind of persistent, patient, biblical love that doesn't give up easily. Like Jacob worked 14 years for Rachel because she was worth it, this person is ready to invest whatever time, effort, and energy is required to prove their love is real. They're willing to wait through seasons of uncertainty, to work through misunderstandings, to overcome obstacles that might stand between you. They see challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to demonstrate the depth of their commitment. They're prepared to fight against the enemy's attempts to destroy what God is building between you. They'll battle through their own insecurities, past wounds, and fears because they know you're worth the inner work. They're ready to fight for your trust if they've made mistakes, to fight for your respect through consistent character. They understand that real love isn't just a feeling, it's a choice they're prepared to make every single day. They're willing to fight against societal pressures that would cheapen or rush your relationship. They'll fight for proper timing, for purity, for building something that honors God in every detail. They're prepared to defend your honor, your reputation, your heart against anyone who would try to harm you. This fighting spirit comes from recognizing that you're not just someone they want, you're someone God has called them to love. They see loving you as a holy assignment, not just a personal preference. They're ready to fight through disagreements with patience, through difficult seasons with hope, through external pressures with unity. They understand that the best relationships aren't the easiest ones, they're the ones worth fighting for. This determination gives them strength to persevere when others might give up. They're committed to fighting for your relationship, not just until they win your heart, but for as long as you'll let them love you. They're prepared to fight against their own selfishness, choosing your needs above their own comfort when necessary. They'll battle through seasons where love feels more like work than emotion, knowing that commitment transcends feelings. They're ready to fight for your dreams, even when it requires sacrifice on their part, because your success brings them genuine joy. They'll contend for your healing in areas where you've been wounded, creating safe spaces for your heart to recover and trust again. They're prepared to fight against generational curses or patterns that might try to sabotage what God is building between you. They understand that spiritual warfare is real, and they're ready to intercede, fast, and pray until breakthrough comes in your relationship. They'll fight for unity when others try to create division, standing firmly against anyone who would gossip, interfere, or spread discord. They're willing to fight against cultural norms that don't align with God's design for relationships, choosing His way over society's approval. They'll battle their own pride when apologies are needed, choosing humility over being right because your relationship matters more than their ego. They're prepared to fight for financial stability and security, working diligently to provide and protect what God is building through your partnership. They'll contend for your spiritual growth, encouraging you toward God even when it's easier to stay comfortable or complacent. They're ready to fight against laziness in themselves, constantly growing and improving to be worthy of the gift of your love. They'll battle for clear communication, refusing to let misunderstandings fester or assumptions create unnecessary distance between you. They're prepared to fight for quality time together, protecting your relationship from the busyness and distractions that could erode intimacy. They'll contend for your relationship in prayer, regularly seeking God's wisdom and guidance for every decision that affects your future together. They're ready to fight against comparison, jealousy, or insecurity, choosing to trust and celebrate rather than compete or control. They understand that fighting for love sometimes means fighting against their own natural tendencies towards selfishness, impatience, or fear. They're prepared to battle for the long-term health of your relationship, making difficult decisions now that will benefit you both in the future. This fighting spirit isn't born from desperation, but from recognition. They know you're a gift from God, and gifts from heaven are worth protecting, nurturing, and treasuring. They see this battle as a privilege, not a burden, because they get to fight for something eternal and beautiful alongside the Creator of love Himself. The truth is, this person isn't just thinking about you. They're completely captivated by the divine connection God has created between your hearts. Everything they're hiding, everything they're feeling, everything they're hoping for centers around the beautiful possibility that God has brought you together for His glory and your good. Their secret thoughts, their hidden prayers, their careful planning, their prophetic dreams, it all points to a love that's bigger than both of you. This isn't just romance. This is destiny unfolding. This isn't just attraction. This is divine assignment being revealed. If this message has stirred something in your spirit, if you recognize yourself in this story, if your heart is beating faster because you know exactly who this person is, then pay attention to what God is doing. Don't let fear rob you of what could be the most beautiful chapter of your love story. Don't let past hurts keep you from receiving the gift God might be offering through this connection. Trust the process, trust God's timing, trust the stirring in your spirit that confirms what your heart already knows. If this video has blessed you, if it's given you hope, if it's confirmed what you've been sensing in your spirit, please hit that subscribe button and share this message with someone who needs to hear it. God is moving in relationships. He's healing hearts. He's bringing people together for His glory and your good. Your love story is still being written, and the best chapters might be just ahead. Stay faithful, stay hopeful, stay open to what God is doing in your heart and in your future. The person who can't stop thinking about you is praying you'll have the courage to believe in love again. Don't disappoint them. Don't disappoint yourself. Most importantly, don't disappoint the God who has beautiful plans for your heart.